Hey there, my name's Alex Grandleski. In the crypto world, I go by the DeFi Doctor, a name I chose not only to protect my identity, but to honor where I came from. I left my entire career as a medical doctor to pursue DeFi education. Sounds crazy, right? Well, let me tell you my story, why I left my career as a doctor and haven't looked back since. I wanted to record this video so that we can get to know each other a little bit better. Let me tell you about me, and then I'll tell you about the types of videos you'll be seeing from me right here on this channel. A doctor turned DeFi educator. I was born in Poland, raised in Canada, a curious kid who didn't just ask questions, but also took things apart until I understood how. By high school, I was running a computer repair business from my parents' basement, launching BBS systems on 28.8K modems that felt like portals to a different universe. But in my family, there was always a gravitational pull towards medicine. My parents, my brother, my uncles, my cousins. Stethoscopes weren't just tools, they were legacy. They were identity. The unspoken message was clear. If you wanted to do something meaningful, you became a doctor. I craved order, structure, mission. I served with the Canadian Army Reserves, the Sutherland Highlanders of Canada, Princess Louise's. I studied business economics and English literature at Carleton University, torn between logic and language, strategy and soul. But poetry doesn't pay the rent, and the family expectations were clear. So I made a massive decision. I left Canada and returned to Poland to study medicine at Jagiellonian University, the same institution that taught Copernicus. I graduated in the top 5% of my class in 2004. I had done everything right, made my family proud. I trained in Denmark, in the UK, and in Poland. I wore the white coat, stood in operating rooms, lived inside the system meant to heal. I was hungry to get into the most prestigious orthopedic surgery program available. And yet, something felt wrong. It crept in slowly at first, a quiet voice in the back of my mind, then louder, until I couldn't ignore it. The deeper I went into medicine, the more I began to see beneath the surface. The billing codes, the pharmaceutical incentives, the quiet coercions, the pressure to prescribe, not ask, to follow protocol, even when your gut's screaming otherwise. Medicine was supposed to be sacred, and for many it still is, but for me, it was becoming something else, something I didn't believe in. I crossed oceans, made sacrifices, carried the expectations of an entire family. Now I was standing at a crossroads, holding a scalpel in one hand and my own conscience in the other. Leaving medicine wasn't just a career change. It felt like betrayal of my upbringing, of my education, of everything I was supposed to be. But I knew if I stayed, I'd be betraying myself. So I left. And like most people who walk away from something huge, I didn't land somewhere right away. I wandered from Dubai to Norway and eventually back to Canada, searching not just for a job, but for an alignment, for purpose. That search, my friends, led me to education. I spent over a decade raising a dying private career college from bankruptcy, helping others find their paths. And what I found surprised me: joy. Leading that school, mentoring others, helping people break barriers and unlock potential, that felt right. I didn't have to wear a white coat to make a difference. Around 2016, something else started tugging at me: crypto. At first, it was just curiosity, a rabbit hole of white papers, forums, YouTube rabbis preaching decentralization. But I became obsessed, not with the price, but with the possibilities. The idea of a permissionless, decentralized future, one where people, not institutions, hold the keys. I studied everything I could, obsessively. But despite my studies, I got wrecked in 2017, like everyone else did. But I didn't quit. That pain became my fuel. The volatility became a teacher. This was my ordeal, the moment that separated those who retreat from those who transform. While others ran from crypto after the crash, I went deeper. By 2020, I sold my PCC school and I dove into DeFi full-time. I became a nomad, mentally, digitally, spiritually, living in the trenches of Telegram chats and DAOs, surfing gas fees, falling in love with protocols and breaking up with them a week later, and teaching everyone, anyone that I knew who had the thirst to learn. DeFi gave me what I didn't even know I was missing: financial sovereignty, consistent passive income, a decentralized career, and most of all, time. Time with my kids, time to pursue photography, my passion, time to game, to travel, to write again, time to build a future on my own terms. I climbed Mount Damavand in Iran, 5,610 meters of ice, wind, and personal reflection. And I still dabble in poetry these days. 2 years later, I met Tan and Salim, the co-founders of Decentralized Masters. When we spoke, I felt something I hadn't felt since medicine, a mission. These guys weren't just passionate, they were principled. And their vision of Decentralized Masters wasn't about hype, it was about helping other people understand, about giving people tools to break the cycle of financial dependency. This wasn't just another project, it was a calling. The stars had aligned, and I knew this is where I'm supposed to be. Today, I feel blessed. I'm a lot of things. A father of 2 incredible boys, head of education at Decentralized Masters, a photographer, a poet, a traveler, a builder, a seeker. But more than anything, I'm someone who had the courage to change, to say no to safety and yes to soul. The transition from medicine to DeFi was the best decision I had ever made. It was scary, it was uncertain, but it gave me everything I didn't know I was missing. Freedom, integrity, joy. I don't have to work 80-hour weeks anymore. I don't have to answer emergency calls in the middle of the night or lose sleep wondering if I did the right thing. I don't feel ethically torn. I don't feel trapped. Instead, I feel aligned. If you're watching this right now, maybe you're standing at your own crossroads. Maybe your family wants one thing and your heart wants something else. I get it. It's not easy to walk away from what's expected of you. It's not easy to look your loved ones in the eye and say, I need to go another way. But let me tell you something I've learned, something I've lived. When you follow your heart, truly follow it, you don't just find success, you find peace, you find freedom, and you unlock a kind of happiness that no title or paycheck alone can give you. DeFi gave me that freedom, and Decentralized Masters nurtured it. So what type of videos can you expect from me? Well, everything related to DeFi education. Specifically, how-to practical videos showing you how to navigate the deep waters of crypto and DeFi. Also, more general videos covering DeFi education, discussing sectors, innovations, and most important things that you need to know to succeed. If that's interesting to you, consider subscribing and sharing this channel with someone else who can find benefit. I hope my videos reach and help teach many. I shared my story so that you know that I'm just as human as you are, and I want you to know what drives me. And before I wind down, I'll leave you with one more thing. If you're wondering whether it's possible to leave a conventional path and still thrive, the answer is yes. This is your time to grow, to learn, to be inspired by everything unfolding around you. Be grateful for the time you have, because time can giveth and time can taketh. The only true power we have is how we use it. And your will, your decision to act, is the only catalyst that can change your fate forever. Follow your heart, my friends. You might just find a version of yourself you've been waiting to meet. And I hope to meet you somewhere along the way.